Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Francesa podcast, part of the Bet Rivers Network. We come to you after the first bad game. You know, we had four terrific, really classic playoff games in a row. Uh, really some wonderful games. Great drama, incredible exchanges in the fourth quarter. What we saw last night with the Bears, which was just remarkable. The fourth quarter today with Jacksonville, which I thought did a lot of really good things and has to be very proud of itself. Uh, the question was, could they make each exchange every time? Could they get an answer going up against a guy like Josh Allen, who you know is going to get answers? And Allen got one more answer than Trevor Lawrence did, who I thought played very well. I really did. I thought he did a good job. You know, and that last interception was not his fault. Um, the Eagles showed you the problems they have had. I thought that San Francisco would stay in that game. You know, the Kittle injury was a tough one. I thought San Francisco would stay in that game. They have too many weapons, and they are so well coached offensively. But when the ball was on the 20-yard line, and you're playing a San Francisco team that can't stop the run and has no pass rush and really is on fumes, and you can't get the ball in the end zone, it speaks volumes about how off things are with the Eagles, how off things are with the relationships in that room, how off things are with the offensive coordinator, how off things are with Brown, how off things are with Hurts. There are going to be huge changes. I can't wait to see what happens. Now, I didn't think the Eagles were going back to the Super Bowl. I thought they were a team that deserved to be in the playoffs. I thought they were a team that had a good defense, but the offense was never consistent, and there's a lot going on that I think we're gonna find out in Philadelphia, and there's gonna be wholesale changes, and the Eagles do not wait to make changes. They move at lightning quick speed, as we know, so do not be surprised by anything that goes on in Philadelphia after that loss today. Great win for San Francisco. Gutty win for them, no matter whether they win again or not in the playoffs. Really remarkable performance, what they've done this year with all the injuries they've had. Yes, they have great players. Yes, they have Hall of Fame players. You know, they have a Hall of Fame running back. They have a Hall of Fame tight end. They have obviously a first ballot Hall of Fame offensive tackle. They have a terrific offensive coach. Okay, they have wonderful offensive game plans. Their flea flicker was a thing of beauty. They make plays, but they are so beat up that it's amazing that they've been able to do the things they did. So I give them so much credit for that. Buffalo survives, just like the Rams survived. And, you know, Carolina and Jacksonville. Now, Carolina had a losing record. Anything they did was gravy, but they came away and they had to be proud of the way they performed. I think Jacksonville is bitterly disappointed because I think they thought they could win that game, and they clearly could. I mean, they answered and took the lead back twice in the fourth quarter, as we had more exchanges in the fourth quarter of that game than any in history. So what we saw them do, the way they ran the ball, the way they played defense, the way they shut down the Buffalo running game, okay, the plays that Lawrence made, uh, give them credit for what they did. And they are clearly a team on the rise with a bright young coach, with a good quarterback who has been much maligned, who had a good year, with a good defense. I think Jacksonville is not going to be a one-year wonder. I really don't believe they are. I think they're a team that's building towards something better. I really think they do. Tough loss for them, absolutely. And then, listen, I think the fact that Jim Harbaugh even got this team to the postseason was remarkable. They had no offensive line. They had no pass rush. They had no running game. But now we have seen another year where the Chargers have come in the playoffs and just laid a complete egg, have just been an absolute zero. And their quarterback has been, despite his courage, and we know he's a tough guy. We've watched him this year. We watched some of the stuff he did this year, but their offense is abominable. I mean, they couldn't even get the passing game going. New England pounded them, absolutely pounded them, and New England wasn't pretty by any stretch of the imagination. The, Chargers defense showed up and gave them a hard time, until they broke a couple of plays late, but it was an ugly game without any question. I don't think the Pats are a Super Bowl team this year. But listen, anything the Pats do, they've already gotten a win now for May. They've already gotten back and gotten a postseason victory in Vrabel's first year as they rebuild this. So they are playing with house money without any question. So is San Francisco. The Rams have big plans. The Bills, even though they're on the road, just like the Rams are, have big plans. They believe that they can get there this year. The Rams expect to get there. The Bills think they can get there, and they can. We talked about that before the playoffs started. We talked about, would you take the 1 seeds or take the Bills and the Rams? I told you I'd take the Bills and the Rams because of the 2 quarterbacks. And when the games were on the line, on the road, when they were both losing late, Stafford hit his tight end, who made a great catch and put his team in front, and Allen did what you expect him to do. Allen got his team down the field and into the end zone, which is what you expect him to do. Let's be honest, okay? That's what you always expect him to do. You expect him to get his team into the end zone, and that's exactly what he did as we went back and forth and back and forth. 17-13 Jacksonville, 17 Buffalo, 24-20 Jacksonville, 27-24 Buffalo, okay? And then the pick on a ball that should have been caught, it happens. All right. I thought, like I said, I thought that Trevor did a good job. I thought that their running game was good. I thought Etienne played well. I thought they did some really good things on defense. They really shut down the Buffalo running game. I'd say the big losers today, without any question, with the Eagles. Because, let's be honest, they were in position. They're on the 20-yard line with plenty of time and timeouts. All I got to do is stick the ball in the end zone. And they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it because they have been dysfunctional all year. They have not utilized their great running back all year. They have not utilized the talents of their quarterback all year. Their offensive line has been in shatters all year. Lane Johnson didn't come back today. Brown has played himself off that team. If he hasn't, you got a scoop. The offensive coordinator, I mean, he might need to be put in a witness protection program in Philadelphia. He is so unpopular. That's how bad it has gotten there. And now we have 1 game left. And that will be the matchup with Houston and their big-time defense in Pittsburgh tomorrow night against Aaron Rodgers with Metcalf back, trying to see if they can find a way to win a playoff game in prime time tomorrow night and move forward from there. So that's where we are right now. We got some interesting matchups. We'll wait until tomorrow night. So we set up. I mean, I can pretty much see where the TV is going next weekend because you got some colossal matchups. You know when you're going to want to play them. You can almost see it, but let the game unfold tomorrow night before they set things up. But you can see pretty much right now where things are headed. The playoffs have been, I'm sure the ratings are going to be very good because the games have been terrific. I mean, when you have games that are decided in the final seconds, games that change, you have changing leads in the final seconds, time after time. You have fourth quarters where we go back and forth and get lead change after lead change after lead change. Okay. I mean, it looked like the Rams were going to run them out of the building in the first half. Absolutely. And then they didn't. You were wondered about what was going on with Stafford's hand after it hit the defensive player. You were wondering what was going on with Josh today after his hand hit the helmet and whether that was an impactful play or not. Buffalo has distinct weaknesses that they're going to have to overcome if they are going to make this ride to the Super Bowl. They've accomplished the first thing today. They got a win on the road, which is something they hadn't had in eons. They needed that win on the road, and it didn't look like it was going to be easy, that's for sure. Obviously, it didn't look like it was going to be easy when Jacksonville took the lead back with 3 minutes left, but Buffalo did what Buffalo does, and Josh Allen does what Josh Allen did. He wound up pushing himself into the end zone with a minute left and winning the game 27-24. But I think Jacksonville can hold its head up very, very high. I think San Francisco now gets to play with house money. Obviously, the Bears are writing a very interesting story off last night and what that left Green Bay and the remnants that left Green Bay and remains to be seen. We'll see how that unfolds in the next couple of days. I mean, Ben Johnson is making himself a lot of enemies. Listen, when you win a game, when you come from 18 back, when you score 25 points in the fourth quarter, when you come from 11 back in the final 6 minutes, when you put up over 300 yards of offense in the second half, and you win that game as a coach, you don't treat the opposing coach who's devastated to begin with like that. I don't care what the relationship is. You don't treat them like that. You weren't the loser, you were the winner. If you're the loser, I can at least give you a little bit of leeway for not handling the situation properly. We saw Bill Belichick not handle it properly when Tom Coughlin beat him in the Super Bowl. But this is a guy who won the game and embarrasses his organization by how he approaches the handshake. He is going to make himself the most unpopular guy in the league the way things are going. Maybe he wants to live with that. Maybe he likes that. He clearly wants to show everybody he's the smartest guy in the room because he not only wants to win, he wants style points. And he costs himself. Now, clearly, he has lifted that franchise, and clearly he has put a confidence and a bravado into that quarterback in very short time that is impressive. But he is not only trying to win, he wants to win and have you go, ooh, isn't he smart? Oh, what a beautiful play call. What a call at that time. Oh, he got them off balance. He wants you to revel in his brilliance. He's got to realize it's enough just to win. The idea is to win. Don't worry about style points. And he put his team in some weird positions with some of the stuff he did. On that first drive, if he had just lined up and kept running the ball conventionally, he would have run the ball right through them, right into Milwaukee. Instead, he fooled around. And he wound up settling for a field goal, even though he ran 15 plays. And he gave away a touchdown. He gave away 7 points down there in the third quarter on a terrible play call. But again, trying to outsmart everybody. His existence is going to be fascinating. But say this, the life, the confidence, the bravado that he has breathed into the Bears is impressive. There's no way around it. You know, when I thought about the Buffalo game, and I've always been, if you've listened to me, you know that I've been a Trevor Lawrence supporter through the years. I've always defended him. I've always liked him since his days at Clemson. I thought people beat him up. I thought they were unfair about him, and I think he proved that and took another step forward with that today. But I thought if you're going to get a game where it's going to come down to which quarterback makes the play, then you have to go with Josh Allen, just like you have to go with Stafford. And what happened? Stafford made the play with 32 seconds left. Josh Allen made the play with 59 seconds left. That's why they're Josh Allen and Stafford. Stafford, the MVP. Josh Allen, obviously, the great quarterback in this postseason competition. No Burrow. No Mahomes. No Lamar. So the fact that he's here doesn't surprise anybody. And going through anybody who's left, there's no reason to believe that they can't do that. They absolutely can. And so can the Rams. If the Rams beat any of these teams left in the NFC, I will not be surprised. Matter of fact, I probably will favor them to do just that. And I probably will favor the Bills to do just that. Because I think having that quarterback, and listen, these aren't perfect teams. The Rams special teams continue to haunt them. They got rid of their special teams coach late in the season and then almost lost yesterday because they got a punt blocked, which is criminal. If you're a good team, you don't get punts blocked in playoff games. Special teams matters. Look at how many points Green Bay gave back last night. Hey, listen, guys can miss field goals. These are pressurized. This is not a situation where you're kicking a field goal in the regular season. In a game, you might be up 13 points and, you kick a 65-yard field goal. So what? Kicking field goals in these games now with everything on the line is a whole different set of encyclopedias. There's a lot of pressure. So you expect some misses. You expect some misses on extra points. You expect some misses on field goals. These guys are not going to make everyone go through the playoff game so far. Go through this, starting with the Steeler game against Baltimore, and take it forward and see how many key field goals have already been missed. After these guys make 20 in a row in a regular season. Yeah, the pressure's not there in a regular season. It's a whole different deal now. And that's why, if these games are close and you have Stafford pitching to Nakoa and to Adams, and you have Allen doing what he does, and today he didn't even get a big game out of Cook. Cook got banged up a little bit, and they did a great job against the running game. I mean, that was as good a job against the running game that anybody's done against Buffalo this year. Cook had 46 yards on 15 carries. Buffalo had 79 yards on the ground. They've been a monster on the ground all year. I thought Shakira had a very important game for them today. 12 targets, 12 catches, 82 yards, and some key spins and wiggles for first downs. Catching the ball underneath and getting key first downs. Really big game for Shakir. I thought he did a really good job. Really good job. Allen is going to be the best player on the field in any game he plays in the rest of the way. And that gives Buffalo something they can hang their hat on. Just like the Rams know they're going to be well coached, although their special teams have got to come together. But they have an MVP quarterback, a veteran guy who is not going to blink and who has great targets. And I'll tell you that, we talk about Nicole, who I think is as good a wide receiver as I've seen since the days of Lance Alworth. I mean, he's one of the great wide receivers I've ever seen in my whole life. And he had a drop yesterday, which was stunning. But you know how good he is. You know how good Adams is in the red zone. But Parkinson made an incredible play. The catch, the turn, got his feet down, and then got it inside the pylon. That was a brilliant catch with 32 seconds on the clock to give them a victory. That was a big, the pass was good. The catch was great. So, was I surprised Buffalo won today? No. Was I surprised Philly didn't get it done? I have to admit I was. I thought the game would be close. I took the Niners with the points, but I thought that the Eagles would win. So I was surprised. I was not surprised that the Pats won. I was surprised again at how bad the Chargers looked. They were really, again, non-competitive. I don't know how many more chances Herbert gets. He's gonna get a lot of grief. Now listen, he didn't have his offensive lineman. He hasn't all year. They've down 5 running backs. I understand they have not been healthy, and it's amazing that Harbaugh even got them to the playoffs. But they just did. I mean, they should be able to get the ball to McConkey in a big spot. They got targets. They got a tight end you can throw to. They got McConkey in the slot. They got wide receivers. They just couldn't get the ball to anything. It was pitiful. It really was. And now the game that I looked most forward to, and we'll do something after that game tomorrow night and wrap up this wild card weekend. I have great respect for the Houston defense. And they've obviously played really well since Mills turned it around for them with those 3 big wins, and then obviously Stroud came back. But let me say this, I don't trust their coaching staff from an offensive standpoint. I don't trust their offensive coordinator. I don't trust their quarterback. And I think there'll come times in that game where that Pittsburgh defense will have its say and have its run and look to take over that game. Now, I don't know if they can protect Rodgers without keeping Warren and Gainwell in the chip on the edges. I don't know if they can do that. It would be a big help if he could send them out in the patterns and not have to chip them all the time like they did against Garrett, where they got nothing offensively because they tried to keep Garrett off bay. And yes, they were more concerned that day with keeping Garrett from getting the record than they were with winning the game, and that was their problem. They can't play that way. They do get Metcalf back, which is a big positive. And remember, this is Aaron Rodgers. He's going to make plays. And this is the Steelers, who are really good at home. And I know a lot of people think Houston's going to kill him. I think that the Steelers getting 3 or 3.5 points, whatever it is, wherever you are, I think the Steelers have a great chance to win the game. Now, if they win it, I think they'll win it 21-19 or 2017 or something like that. If there's a lot of points, I don't think Pittsburgh can put up 30 plus points on Houston unless Houston's turning the ball over repeatedly. And Houston could beat them around because Houston has beat some good teams around this year with their defense. I just don't think it's going to happen in Pittsburgh. I think the Steelers are going to play well tomorrow night. I'll be fascinated to see it. Now, from now until January 15th, Bet Rivers is giving you a $10 bonus bet to use on any plus money parlay or bet. Enter the bonus code Francesa26 in your Bet Rivers app, and you'll instantly get $10 to use on a wager of plus 100 or longer odds. So the code again is Francesa26. Go to your Bet Rivers app, claim your bonus bet before January 15th. Must be over 21 or older. Eligible customers only. Gambling problem? 1-800. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now, one more big playoff game. Should be a good one. We've had nothing but classics except for the Pat Chargers thinker. That's not a bad batting average. I think we get one more good one. We'll see after tomorrow night.